Imagine a time, over 1600 years ago, when knowledge was valued above all else. A place where students, from across the world, gathered, eager to learn from the best teachers. A place where books were treasures, and wisdom was the ultimate power. This place was Nalanda University, the world's first residential university, and one of the greatest centers of learning ever created. Let's dive deep into the incredible history of Nalanda University, the scholars who studied there, and how this ancient institution shaped, not just India, but the world. Our story begins in the 5th century AD, during the reign of King Kumaragupta I of the Gupta dynasty. At this time, India was thriving under the Gupta Empire, known as the Golden Age of India. The Gupta rulers were great patrons of art, culture, and education. King Kumaragupta had a vision, a dream to establish a grand institution, where knowledge could flourish and spread to all corners of the world. And so, in the kingdom of Magadha, in present-day Bihar, the foundation for Nalanda University was laid. The name Nalanda is believed to come from Nalam, meaning lotus, a symbol of knowledge, and Da, which means to give. Together, the name means giver of knowledge. From its humble beginnings, Nalanda soon grew into a world-renowned university. It wasn't just a local school, or a temple where monks gathered. Nalanda became a magnet for scholars and students from across Asia, including China, Japan, Korea, Indonesia, Tibet, and even as far as Greece. It was a place where cultures, ideas, and philosophies met and flourished. What was life like for a student at Nalanda University? Imagine waking up at sunrise, to the sound of birds, and the quiet rustling of the wind through the trees. You would live on the vast university campus, which was like a city on its own. The university housed over 10,000 students, and 2,000 teachers, at its peak. Students would begin their day with meditation, an important practice to calm the mind and prepare for learning. Classes would start early, and the day was filled with discussions, debates, and lessons from the most brilliant minds of the time. But Nalanda wasn't just about listening to lectures. It was about questioning, debating, and discovering new ideas. The students were encouraged to challenge their teachers, think critically, and develop their own understanding. The subjects taught at Nalanda were vast and varied. While it was primarily known for its Buddhist teachings, the university also offered lessons in philosophy, astronomy, medicine, mathematics, grammar, and literature. This wide range of subjects made Nalanda unique, compared to other centers of learning at the time, which were often focused solely on religious teachings. One of the most impressive features of Nalanda University was its libraries. The university had 3 massive libraries, known as Ratnasagara, Ocean of Jewels, Ratnadati, Sea of Jewels, and Ratnaranjaka, Delight of Jewels. These libraries were legendary, containing thousands of scrolls and manuscripts from across the world. Scholars would travel for months just to get access to these precious texts. The libraries were not just places to store books. They were places of constant activity, with scholars reading, copying, and debating the knowledge within the texts. Unfortunately, much of this invaluable knowledge was lost in later years, but we will come back to that later. If you are enjoying this dive into history, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Narrative Portal for more fascinating stories from the past. And if you know someone who loves history, make sure to share this video with them. Now, let's get back to the video. Nalanda University attracted some of the greatest minds in history. One of the most famous was Aryabhat, a mathematician and astronomer, who studied at Nalanda, and later went on to introduce the world to the concept of zero. Aryabhat's work in mathematics and astronomy laid the foundation for much of the knowledge that would come after him. Another legendary figure was Xuanzang, a Chinese monk, who embarked on a 17-year journey to study at Nalanda. His passion for knowledge took him across treacherous terrain, and when he finally arrived at Nalanda, he spent several years studying Buddhist philosophy and collecting sacred texts. Xuanzang's writings give us some of the most detailed accounts of Nalanda's glory. He took hundreds of manuscripts back to China, translating them into Chinese, and spreading the teachings of Nalanda throughout East Asia. Another notable scholar was Dharmapal, a great Buddhist philosopher, who became the head of Nalanda University. Under his leadership, Nalanda continued to grow and maintain its status as the world's top university. His contributions to Buddhist philosophy are still studied and respected today. Nalanda was also home to many influential teachers, like Dignaga, who made significant contributions to Buddhist logic and epistemology. His works greatly influenced Tibetan Buddhism and the development of Buddhist thought in East Asia. Nalanda was not just a place for Indian students and scholars. Its reputation spread far and wide, drawing students from many different countries and backgrounds. This made Nalanda one of the first truly international universities in history. The campus was a melting pot of ideas, cultures, and languages, creating an environment where students learned from both their teachers and each other. Students from different parts of the world brought their own traditions and knowledge with them, contributing to the rich intellectual culture of Nalanda. They studied side by side, living in harmony, and learning the value of different perspectives. This global exchange of ideas helped to create a broader understanding of the world and the universe. But all great things must face challenges, and Nalanda was no exception. For centuries, the university thrived as a center of knowledge, but the political landscape of India began to change. In the 12th century, the university faced its most significant challenge yet. In 1193 AD, a Turkish general, named Bakhtiyar Khilji, invaded the region. His army targeted the great centers of learning, and Nalanda was no exception. The vast libraries, that had once been the heart of the university, were burned, and many of the monks and scholars were killed. It is said that the libraries burned for months, such was the extent of the knowledge stored within them. This invasion marked the end of Nalanda University. A place that had once been filled with the brightest minds, was reduced to ruins, and centuries of knowledge were lost forever. The fall of Nalanda was not just the destruction of a building, it was the destruction of a legacy, a symbol of human achievement. Though Nalanda was destroyed, its legacy lived on. The ruins of Nalanda were rediscovered by British archaeologists in the 19th century, and since then, efforts have been made to preserve what remains of this great university. Today, the ruins of Nalanda are a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a reminder of its incredible history and contribution to the world. But the story of Nalanda doesn't end with its ruins. In 2010, the Indian government, along with international partners, began work on reviving Nalanda University. The new Nalanda University, located near the original site, aims to once again become a global center for learning and exchange. With the same spirit that guided the original institution, the new Nalanda University focuses on fostering knowledge and understanding across borders. The new Nalanda University may not have the grand libraries or the ancient scrolls of its predecessor, but it carries forward the idea that learning is a lifelong journey and that knowledge is a treasure to be shared with the world. Nalanda University's story is not just about a place where students studied centuries ago, it is a story of human curiosity, of the pursuit of knowledge, and of the power of education to transform lives and societies. The teachings of Nalanda have influenced scholars, monks, and philosophers across the world, and its impact can still be felt today. In many ways, Nalanda was ahead of its time. It was an institution that valued open-mindedness, curiosity, and the free exchange of ideas. It brought together people from different cultures and backgrounds, showing that knowledge has no borders. Nalanda's legacy also reminds us of the fragility of knowledge. The destruction of its libraries was a great loss to the world, but it also serves as a reminder of how important it is to preserve and share knowledge for future generations. This is the story of Nalanda University, a beacon of wisdom, learning, and human achievement. Its ruins stand as a testament to what humanity can achieve when we come together in the pursuit of knowledge. And while its physical structures may have been destroyed, the ideas and teachings of Nalanda live on, continuing to inspire scholars and learners around the world. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the history of Nalanda University. If you found this story fascinating, don't forget to subscribe to Narrative Portal and click on the all notification bell icon and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Your support helps us bring more incredible stories from history to life. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And feel free to share this video with friends who love history as much as you do. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more captivating tales from the past. See you in the next video.